Hi folks, it's Danny at Bradley James Classics, and today's classic is quite a rare sight, I've got to tell you. I'm delighted to have such a beautiful car in, and I'm a little bit biased because I've always loved Humbers. And for those that know, this particular model is a rare sight on the road these days. I can't believe there can be so many of them left. This one, of course, is the flagship model, the Imperial. Now, they do have fantastic road presence and great status, these cars. The history is very fascinating. They were always, I guess, associated to the probably the upper classes and ferrying around diplomats. And in fact, I seem to remember, I think Churchill had the namesake of this car. It was like the Pullman limousine, but nevertheless that name Imperial had previously been associated with the posh cars in the Roots range, going back a few years. So to actually have an Imperial from the mid-60s, this one's 1966, is a lovely thing to have. There was a series of cars around this era, cars like the Hawk and the Super Snipe, for example. They did a V8 version of one of these with a Chrysler engine. Obviously, Roots Group's association with American Chrysler. And I think that V8 engine was probably the one that they put in the Tiger version of the Sunbeam. But this one is a 3-litre. Beautiful condition engine, actually. I'm going to lift the bonnet and show it to you. The car itself has been kept in wonderful driving and working order, and I'm going to walk around this car slowly just so you can see just how nice it is. The small things, when I get up close, look how lovely those period driving lights are, proudly displaying Lucas, and an owner's club badge in the middle on a badge bar. That wonderful twin headlamp design, which I guess is familiar across the Roots range, or the luxury cars. For example, I'm thinking of the Mark I Scepter, but this is a very big car compared to the Scepter. And as we walk down the car, you'll see this sort of British racing green really does suit the lines of this car. It's really beautiful. Chrome is in generally excellent condition. There's a couple of areas where it shows its age, but you can see as I walk around slowly just how nice this car looks. It looks very, very grand with its black vinyl roof and chrome embellishers, chrome stripe down the side, and really rock solid condition. As a complete coincidence, even though we've only just had this car in, the car did come in to our location here in the North Hampshire countryside with a view for being part exchanged against a Mark II Jaguar we had at the time. Now, the gentleman was really toying with just keeping this and not going for a Jaguar, and in the end he couldn't bear to part with it, so that deal didn't go ahead. That was a couple of years ago, and then in fairly recent times this car came in as a part exchange, and when I saw the photographs that the gentleman sent me initially, I immediately recognised it as a car that had previously been in. We would have been very keen to have done the deal, but the gentleman at the time, as I say, he just couldn't part with it, and he didn't buy our Jaguar Mark II. So I saw the car then, and of course now I've seen it more recently, and it has held up extremely well. Now, I promised you a quick look under the engine bay. This car is very suitable for taking to the car show just as it is. Two fronts really. I guess rarity is a big one, but also just the condition. And if you're at that car show where they like to keep the bonnet open, have a look at that. Have a look at that engine, just look how good that looks. That's beautiful, isn't it? Twin Strongbergs. I've got a feeling they're CD175s, I think, on these. If I get close, Yes, they are. It's a real credit to the previous owner how he's kept the car in this condition. And when you see a nice painted engine block, you know this car's been well looked after and well loved. Powerful, quiet actually for a big engine. All of these had power steering, all of them were automatic, so actually driving them is pretty easy. You'll notice a nice servo here, so good brakes, a pretty massive battery, it turns over effortlessly, and yeah, it's in very nice condition under the bonnet. Let's push that down. So I'm going to slowly walk around the car, and I'm going to point out in my walk around video any observations of the bodywork that you would notice if you were here with me, but I'm going to show you the chrome work on the front is very good. The front bumper's particularly nice, grille's good, and if I get up really closely here, you can just see what I mean about the condition of the chrome on the corners there. That's not perfect. This front wing is excellent. The wheel trims and embellishers are very good. Looking through this front door and then down low into the sills, these doors are excellent, very shiny. There's that detail where it just kicks up at the back here, lovely. If I get in very, very closely here, I can see just a few little bubbles here, again very minor. I'm getting in very close to see those, and that lovely long rear panel, you know that's going to be a big boot, which it is. Looking around the back end, bumper generally in excellent condition. If I zoom in super quick, you'll see some very slight speckles here. They probably come off as some brasso, to be honest. Very handsome lines, a big statement rear end to these cars. And remember the era of these cars, the Princess 4-litre R, which was the Rolls-Royce engined big Princess. This was a rival car. There was a tax implication of having a car that was over £2,000 back in the 60s, and this one just snuck under the £2,000 region, so it was tax friendly, which would have been a lot of money for a car considering Minis were being bought for hundreds of pounds back then. Not very many hundreds of pounds. I'm going to get in close on this rear wing. That's excellent, as are the tops of the wings and across that bonnet. And we don't seem to have any issues with this particular rear arch or door. Sadly, a little bit of scraping on that rear door. It's probably been opened onto something. Very good sill, very good doors through here. Nice glass, doesn't look scratched. Let's have a nice look at the detail of the logo there. I love that little badge. I'm going on to this front panel here, and here we do have a little bit of a bubble on the top of this arch, and a very good bonnet, and we're back to where we started. So a slow walk around, one or two minor areas, but in some of the areas like this is all perfectly good. We better have a look inside. Such a lovely place to be, I've got to tell you. It's glorious. Now this is starting to remind you of we're posh, because we've got these little folding picnic tables here, very sort of Bentley, Rolls-Royce, Mark 10 Jaguar-esque. These seats are wonderful, look at that, really grand and very wide. Huge great armrest in the middle, which comes out here. Look at the size of that, glorious. So contrasting green inside. And of course, your chairman might be sat in the back lighting his cigar with a lighter that's built in, and ashtrays everywhere. Very, very glorious. All that wood through there, capped off with some vinyl here, makes it look very, very posh. And just like perhaps a Rolls-Royce or something from the era, these little lamps, plenty of those. And look at the detail, it's all wool up here, so it's in lovely condition. Well, I say that, I've got a little tag here. But other than that, very nice, very posh, a lovely place to be, and I suppose this would be a car to be driven in. but the dashboard is stunning. It does look so lovely, a walnut dashboard in a British car, doesn't it? You've got some tan seats, tan carpets, that lovely dashboard with a clock and all that chrome. There's a modern stereo in the middle, and there's some speakers in the front and the back, so there is some tunes. I love the steering wheel, a simple steering wheel with a horn button, with a horn ring here. And you can have a little look at the selector ride steering. How about that? Suspension, how about that? I've got a little, what looks like a rev counter down here. And then across the dashboard you can see just how nice that looks. Beautiful. Now, I've got a little bit of wear on the driver's seat, and actually it would ideally benefit from some refurbishment. Like any of these cars, they can always be improved. It only really seems to have affected the driver's seat. Now the base of this seat is pretty marvellous, but on the back here you can see, generally speaking, it's showing its age. I can use the word patina, I think, and it certainly has that. But then the carpets are in excellent condition. Oh, that seat is so comfortable. It's lovely. It's nice that we've got some nice paperwork that comes with that car. If I can just show you everything there is here, that will keep you occupied. There's lots and lots of information about the car all in here. Bit of a similar story with this seat. You can see it certainly shows its age at the back here, and there's some wear here, and there's some wear on the top of that arm cushion, and that goes for this side as well. This one being the driver's side is a little more worn, but that's really the extent of it. So quite simple to put these little things right, but the purpose of these walk around videos is to really give you a bit of an idea of the overall condition of the cars. So I'm going to have a final walk around this car. It's showing 54,000 miles. It drives absolutely beautifully. It's in the sort of condition where you could just hop in and drive it to your car show. It would be very welcome, because I think it would be quite a rare sight. I can't say I've seen another one in this sort of condition for rather a long time, and this one is absolutely no exception. Occasionally you will see these come up at auction, but they are in need of total refurbishment, recommissioning or restoration, and I'm afraid with some of the costs of restoration these days, I mean, I tend to say to people, afford the best you can, because if you need to put these cars in for any serious restoration, it takes a lot of time and a lot of money. So certainly when we buy our cars in, we like to buy them in the best condition we can. They all go through our workshop. We carry out a pre-sales inspection. The cars then have a pre-delivery inspection, and then the cars leave us in good fettle. We can arrange to have our cars delivered anywhere in the UK at a competitive price, and we can of course take in your existing, ideally, classic car, classic motorcycle. We can also take in a modern car. We do have a sort of business here local to us in North Hampshire that buys in our modern trade-in, so we can usually facilitate a deal where we deliver your new classic and we take away your old modern car. We do that quite a lot these days. The classic cars seem to be quite in vogue with the tax treatment. As long as they're 40 years old, you won't be paying road tax. Insurance premiums tend to be very favourable, often with a reduced mileage, and of course MOT exempt, just like this one. So thank you very much for watching today's video. This is a just under 3 litre twin carb automatic gearbox, power steering, Humber Imperial from 1966, in beautiful order. A couple of minor little cosmetic niggles to sort out, but certainly minor. You can jump in and enjoy this car. It drives especially well. I've enjoyed driving it this morning actually. She's in stock now. So please do get in touch if you'd like any further information about this car, or indeed if you'd like to come and have a look at her, take her for a drive and buy her. So thanks for watching today's video, folks. This is Danny at Bradley James Classics, signing out.